Okay, so I'm starting my update from over here in Mallorca, from Magaluf Beach, as I do most Mondays, with some bad news for travellers who are hoping to plan their holiday for next summer. But I do have some good news as well for those of you yet to book your holiday for the last weeks of the season. I've actually got good news about that. But I also have an update as to what the island is like as we move just beyond the middle of September too. Plus I have a weather forecast for the week ahead. Now we're going to start this video here talking about how United Kingdom are also jumping on the bandwagon and implementing a travel authorization, an electronic travel authorization for anyone transiting through the United Kingdom. This is really for our American viewers who are coming over to the island next summer, and I want you to bear this in mind before you go and plan your holiday for next year as well, because as of next year you are going to need an electronic travel authorization to go through any airport in the United Kingdom, even if you're not staying in the United Kingdom or you're not spending any days there. And I'm just looking at some facts and figures, and over 30% of passengers are actually transiting through Heathrow. And all of these passengers, as of next year, are going to need an electronic travel authorization at a cost of £10. Now, just like the ETIAS, it's going to work in the same way as well. So if you're hoping to come over to Spain, if you're hoping to come over to anywhere in Europe, if you're coming over to Mallorca next summer and you're booking your flights, bear in mind, if you're going to the United Kingdom, you're going to need an extra piece of paperwork. You're going to have to pay what I'm going to call the travel tax, actually, because this is what it really is. It's paying an extra tax to actually travel now. So if you're routing through the United Kingdom, you're going to have to make sure you get that ETA in place before you then have to get your ETIAS in place as well before arriving into Spain, or if you're going anywhere else in Europe before getting over here to Mallorca. Now, previously in the United Kingdom, the electronic travel authorization, or the ETA, only applied to travellers coming over from the Middle East. It's now going to apply to everybody going into the United Kingdom, whether you're European, whether you're coming from the United States of America or from countries in Asia, and it's going to be all countries that don't actually need a visa. So it's the same kind of visa waiver. If you don't need a visa, you're going to need this ETA, and it's going to mean increased friction on your journey too. It's also going to mean that if you do not have this paper in place, you could be denied entry as well at that point. If you're flying into Heathrow or any other UK airports, you may be denied entry before coming even into Europe. So it's not great. It really is not great. So the UK government actually said by April 2025, all the visitors who do not need a visa will need an electronic travel authorization, or ETA, to travel to the UK. Now, of course, this doesn't apply to British citizens or British passport holders, but it does apply to everyone else. Now, the UK government does say that the ETAs are digitally linked to a traveller's passport and ensure more robust security checks are carried out before people begin their journey to the UK, helping to prevent abuse of our immigration system. Sorry. An ETA costs £10 and permits multiple journeys to the UK for stays of up to 6 months at a time over 2 years, or until the passport expires, whichever is sooner. So if you don't have one of these, if you're coming to Europe next year from the United States, even if you're transiting, you're going to have to get this travel visa waiver thing. So yeah, just a bit more travel tax really before you travel, as well as your ETIAS, so just bear that in mind. Now, I want to know if, and I'll be really keen to know if the airlines, along with the ETIAS as well, are going to try and implement this somehow in their booking system. So if you book a flight, you can automatically apply for these visa waivers. I don't know, or whether it's going to have to be done separately. I suspect it's going to have to be done separately because it does operate through what you'd call Homeland Security or Border Force. So I'd also love to know what's going to happen when the systems go down, because we all know that those computer systems are going to go down at some point next summer, and it's going to cause an absolute nightmare at the airports. And also, not to mention the entry-exit system too, which is going to come in force on November the 10th, which is going to eradicate passport stamping in the European Union. They're going to be taking photos and asking for fingerprints now on arrival. It's going to ensure that nobody overstays their welcome as well in the European Union if you're coming from one of these third countries too. So yeah, it's interesting times ahead. It just makes you wonder what they're going to be doing with all this information they're going to be collecting from people as well, and charging them for it too. So like I said, it sounds like a tax to me, but anyway, I'm really keen to know what you think about it. Drop your comment below. Has it put you off travelling? Are you going to now decide not to bother travelling next year because of the ETIAS and now because of the ETA as well? If you're coming from the United States, are you going to just stay where you are, or are you going to still make your journey? Let me know in comments. But basically, gone are the days of friction-free travel from 2025. It's not looking good, but it's going to be interesting to see the impact that it has on travel for next summer. So I guess as of next year, we're all going to be guinea pigs on that front. Anyway, let's move on to an island update now. I have got some good news for you, and most importantly, I know many of you have been hanging out to book a late availability deal before the end of the season on the 31st of October, and I have had a look on jet2.com today to check out some holiday package deals. Now, apologies to my international viewers, I'm just referring to jet2.com because I do have more UK viewers than from anywhere else in the world, but you're going to find these same deals as well whether you're looking to book from Germany or the Netherlands or Scandinavia or wherever. But I'm looking at prices that are below £400 per person, and that's based on 2 people booking. So that's going to include flights, the all-important luggage allowance, transfers and accommodation for 1 week in resorts including Magaluf, Santa Ponsa, Palma Nova, Alcudia, Can Picafor, Sea Yacht and Sakoma, and others as well. I just had a really brief look, and you can see as well on this screenshot as well, rolling down the screen, some amazing packages that we do have available for just over £400, which includes either bed and breakfast, self-catering or half board. I've seen as well in some cases you can upgrade to all-inclusive too. So I personally think that's really good value for a week's holiday. So let me know if you're going to book something. Also, if you use the link below as well, it is an affiliate link. It does mean that I would get a teeny tiny commission on your booking as well, at no extra cost to yourselves, but it just helps with the running of the channel. So go and check out those deals, have a look at jet2.com and see what you think. Let me know below as well if you've found yourself a really inexpensive and affordable late availability break to the island. I'd love to know. Okay, so what's it like on the islands at the moment? We've just gone past mid-September. We're looking at the final 6 weeks of the season, and I have to say it's a lot busier than I thought it would be. Obviously, kids have gone back to school. We do still have quite a few children on the island. We've got lots of little kids on the island as well, so lots of families coming out. I do have a comment here from Andy who says, I think all the people who didn't come in August have come in September, and we are in St Elm today, and it was absolutely rammed. The last time we were in Palma was the middle of August, and it was nowhere near as busy as that. And he's referring to the video that I put out from a very busy Palma just the other day on a cloudy, rainy day. He said it was easy to park at Parc de la Mar and there's no queue to get into the palace. So it's very true. During the summer months you're going to find more people on the beach and in the pools, and now it's a little bit cooler. You can see more people are milling around the towns and the resorts as well. It just gives a feeling of overall busyness, really. However, you will see as well that this time of year we do have some very mixed weather. It's very hard to forecast from one day to the next actually, and of course I'm going to get on to my weather update for the week ahead in just a moment, but expect if you are coming out between now and the end of the season, we're going to have mixed weather. It's not going to be wall-to-wall endless sunshine. In fact, you can see, although it's a lovely day here, we do have some clouds in the sky as well. It's a little bit sunny and cloudy over here in Magaluf today. Still very warm though, I've got to say, still very, very warm, but you can expect days where we may have a temperature drop or we may have a few showers and may feel a little bit cooler, which means that everybody decides to leave their resorts and head to Palma or maybe one of the most popular old towns like Sóller, from which we have had a few problems over the past few days. Now, you would have seen in my video, which I'll link below and I'll link it at the end of this video, just how busy Palma was on a cool rainy day. I heard reports from Sóller as well that they had to close the tunnel for a while just due to the sheer volume of traffic going in and out of the old town as well. My advice is to maybe consider exploring some other old towns on the island as well. I've got some other very interesting old towns. I'm going to be making more content about these over the winter as well, to give you more options as well, to help you plan your trip for next year. We've got towns like Manacor and Inca, we've got Felanich, we've got Son Servera, check out Poyensa, check out Santanyí. We've got loads of amazing places that you can go and visit too. We've also got a whole load of museums and art galleries too that you can visit. If you're coming with little kids, don't forget we've got places like the aquarium, we've got Kathmandu theme park, we've got the shows as well like Pirates and Sonamar. So there is plenty of stuff to see and do. Plus we've got 3 main shopping centres on the island. We've got Portopee on the west side of Palma. We've got a fan shopping centre on the east side of Palma. We've got a festival park more or less in the centre of the island near Marachi as well. It's quite easy to get to. You can even get there by train as well from Palma. But I would say as well, on the day where we do get rain and we do get clouds, there is an increased demand for car hire too on the island. And just as we've seen in the United Kingdom, the demand for the Oasis tickets, the more demand that you have for something, car hire does operate off dynamic pricing. So if you're searching the search engines for car hire for just a day or two, you're going to be absolutely horrified if lots of other people are doing the same thing. It's shocking actually, because I did get a message from a friend of mine on Saturday morning saying that she had friends over in Calador. They're looking for a day's car hire and they couldn't find anything cheaper than €212 just for the day, and that's purely based on dynamic pricing. So if you are in the resorts, if you do get a cloudy day, you do want to hire a car, I would say go into the car hire place and just go and talk to them, have a chat to them, tell them what you're prepared to pay as well. They may reach a deal, because I don't think anyone should be paying €200 for a day's car hire on the islands. That's just absolutely ridiculous, and also a little bit greedy as well. Have a chat to them, because they may want to actually just rent that car for a little bit less, rather than demanding these ridiculously high prices that you're going to see online. So that's going to be my top tip, to maybe try to hire a car just for one day. But following my video from Palma on Friday about how busy the city was when we did have that clouds and that rain as well, I had some quite interesting comments. Now, Alan commented, he said, "I love it, there's nothing worse than a deserted city." And it's something, I'll tell you what, it's something that we all really take for granted here on the island. And well, you may remember from the summer anti-tourism saturation protest about there being too many people on the island. If we flip that idea and we look at places in the United Kingdom now, and particularly because I've been out of the country for so long, whenever I go home, I go back and visit towns I used to go to, and I see nothing but dead city centres with boarded up department stores and empty shop units. We don't have that in Mallorca, and we have a lot of people with a lot of shops that are open, and it's busy and it's bustling. So you're going to see the absolute opposite to many places in the United Kingdom at the moment. And I'm just using that as an example because I know it's happened in America as well. It's happened basically in many places. So Jackie also went on to elaborate too. She said, "It's amazing and the atmosphere must be fantastic. I'm loving the video. It's so nice to see the hustle and bustle. A lot of places in the UK are closed down, so embrace while you have all the shops and restaurants open and full." So that is actually a very, very good point. Very, very good point. So sometimes I think we're very quick to criticise tourism numbers over here, but when we look at the other side of the coin and what it's like on the other side of the pond here over in the United Kingdom, we can actually see that we've got a functioning living city here, and it hasn't died a death. So worth visiting. And also too, I'm going to be having more content coming out in the winter as well about city breaks to Palma as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You may want to come and get some winter sunshine just for a few days over the winter. Escape from winter wherever you are in the world, particularly in Northern Europe as well. So make sure you catch those videos. It's also worth noting too, for those who do have mobility issues, another viewer said, "I noticed there are way too many stairs there, a potential problem for elderly or disabled and mums with babies." I also noticed as well there are not that many places to sit down in Palma. It's kind of the same actually in most European cities, but I've noticed this in many European cities actually. They're kind of doing away with the benches, probably to discourage homelessness in city centres, but on the other side of the coin, it's not great for anyone with mobility issues who do need to sit down. Now, I'm going to try and point out a few shortcuts that you can make around the city as well. The city is accessible, but if you are in a wheelchair or you have a pram, you will have to walk maybe a bit further to avoid the steps. That's the only thing I can say. So I might put some content together over the winter if you just want a very, very short trip and experience to Palma. If you do have mobility issues or you are in a wheelchair as well, that might be actually something quite useful to do for the winter. Diane also said as well, she said, "I love Palma, but not like this. I'm sure that the cruise ships are a big problem because they cause a surge of people all at once. And I'm sure as night falls, it will become a lot quieter." That's also true as well. When we do get the cruise ships in, it's kind of pandemonium for the day. We've got a lot of people walking around. However, as night falls, the city then empties out. If you don't like the big crowds, I would recommend coming in the evening as well. You can have a much more pleasant experience. But don't forget too, it's not always like that. So the scenes noise that you saw in Friday's video, it's not like that all of the time. It'll be quieter on the evenings. On the days we don't have cruise ships, it won't be as busy. On a sunny day, it won't be as busy either. So don't let that video put you off from visiting Palma, please. Which brings me on to the weather for the week ahead. Now, if you've been looking at the weather forecast, you might be a little bit horrified to see that we're going to be having some showers later on in the week. The first thing I'm going to say is it's not like the rain that you normally get in Northern Europe. It doesn't normally rain for days on end here. We may get a few short, sharp showers. It normally clears up a few hours later. Then you can get back onto the beach or get back around the pool too. So don't worry too much. Sunday at the moment, next Sunday is looking rainier than any of the other days. The southwest is looking like it might be a bit cloudier as well during the week than maybe on the east coast. But we could get showers anywhere, and it's hard to identify exactly when they're going to be or where they're going to happen either, but just be prepared for them. Lows, we're going to have 15 degrees Celsius this week, so mornings are going to be a bit chillier, evenings are going to be a bit chillier, so make sure you bring some long trousers and maybe a jumper, maybe a light jacket for if you're going out to eat in the evenings. Daytime highs are going to be around 27, 28 degrees. I'm absolutely boiling here making this video, so yep, it's still very warm during the day. I have to say at this time of year, swimming pools are running a little bit cooler. Obviously, because you're more likely to jump into a deep water, it's going to feel a lot colder than walking into the shallows of the sea as well. The sea's still very warm at this time of year, and I'm actually just swimming in the sea because it's a lot warmer than it is swimming in any of the pools at the moment. Just bear in mind too, if we do have showers, we may get a bit of stormy weather on the water as well. So before you book those boat trips, make sure that boat is going out on the day that you want to book that boat trip for as well. And maybe give it a miss if you do get seasick as well. So just a word of warning on that front too. Okay, so finally for this week, I may be doing my live stream on Saturday. I'll see how I go. We'll see how the weather forecast pans out for the rest of the week. It might be better weather on Saturday. I don't know. Everything could change as we go on into the weekend. It often does. But keep an eye on the community wall on my YouTube channel. Keep an eye on the Facebook group as well. And I'll let you know where I'll be live streaming from this weekend. Now I've got it working again. Apart from that, I'm going to drop a couple of links on YouTube, both here and here, for you to check out for videos that will help you out with your holiday as well, including talking more about travel rules as well. Follow me on my journey back from the United Kingdom as well, see what those are all about and see what Palma was like last Friday on the cloudy day too. Okay everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Goodbye for now.